There are loads of new releases, there are loads of fantastic tennis rackets, but there are only 5 that are worthy of making my top 5 rackets. Stay tuned to find out how many Yonex rackets make my top 5. Tennis rackets are, of course, a vital part of playing tennis. Without one, tennis becomes very, very difficult. But what makes a racket a favourite of mine? Well, it comes down to essentially whether I enjoy playing with it. Did I play well? Did the ball feel good on contact? Did it go where I wanted it to go? That's what determines. I'm not really particular about, oh, it must have this or it mustn't have that. There will be a theme. I like rackets that I find easy to play with and get the right outcome. You will see a theme in terms of head size, but beyond that, quite a variety of rackets. It always pays to try these things out, and I'm lucky enough to be able to try all of these rackets and every racket that hits the market. What I find with these top 5 are these are the ones that remain in there. The ones that I come back to and say, oh yes, this is in my top 5. Oh, this is the best racket that I have. This is the best racket I've played with. This is the best tennis I've ever played. So before we get into that 5, let's do some honourable mentions, ones that didn't quite make the cut. While some of you may believe that I'll be ending this top 5 with a Yonex racket, you may not have thought that I'd be starting with it. So my first honourable mention is the Yonex Percept 97H. This is a fantastic control racket, one that I really enjoy playing with. It's super heavy at 330 grams, but it's got a great 1619 pattern, so it becomes slightly easier to play with. We've been playing with weights quite a lot in the last 12 months at PH Tennis. Both Ben and I are now weighting up our rackets to get a little bit more mass. The Percept 97H has done it for you. Terrific racket, just doesn't quite make my top 5 because there are 5 better. My second honourable mention, and this is an honourable mention because it's very, very new and I haven't had a chance to play with it too much, but it is the Head Radical Pro. 315 grams, 1619 pattern. Again, maybe a bit of a theme there. Very bright, very good, absolutely superb control. Radically versatile, it's a fantastic control racket. Really looking forward to playing more and more with this over the next few months. And my final honourable mention, much to Josh's dismay, is the Babolat Pure Drive. Terrific, terrific upgrade. It is miles better than the last one. A Pure Drive wouldn't have been near my top 5 last year. This new version is sensational. This is the 100 square inch, 300 grams. It's become much less of a sledgehammer, or it's a sort of sledgehammer with a lovely soft velvety grip. It's a huge upgrade and really unlucky to not make my top 5. Without further ado, on to my top 5, and in at number 5 is a classic, a Rolls Royce. It is the Wilson Blade. I've gone for the 1820 rather than 1619. Both rackets are fantastic. Obviously with the 1619 you get a little more spin, potentially a little more power. With the 1820 you really double down on control, and that's what I like. Playing with the blade really encourages you to swing big, to really open up, to really get after it. And I need some of that tempered. So the 1820 pattern helps me in that. The tighter bed, more control, more balls in the court. Despite what Stefano Tsitsipas may now believe, this is an absolutely terrific racket, and it makes my number 5. In at number 4, as Josh says, it is the Yonex Vcore 98. It could just have easily been the 100 to be honest, but I prefer the 98 because that little bit more control. Again, seems I may be slightly wild on a tennis court and need some reining in. The Vcore 98 is sort of agreed by us at PH Tennis as being the sort of best all-rounder. So it sits as Yonex's spin frame, but to me it doesn't generate mad spin like an Aero or an Extreme. It is a sort of all-round racket and it does that beautifully. 16 by 19 pattern, 305 grams, just does everything really well. If you want to stay at the back of the court and grind, great. If you want to chip and charge and come in and volley, absolutely fantastic. It does everything, and the best all-round racket, I would say. This is the sand beige version. I prefer the scarlet red. I don't know why I don't like this one, but I don't. It's personal preference, isn't it? It's all about aesthetics and personal preference, and our own personal feelings about things. So get over it if you like this one better. Anyway, my number 4 racket in my top 5 rackets is the Yonex Vcore 98. Now I know what you're thinking, and you're worried that it's going to be a run-in from here for Yonex all the way from 4 to 1, but you'd be wrong, because my number 3 racket is from Babolat, and it is the Aero 98. This is a, what would you say, a renaissance in my mind, or not a renaissance. Anyway, the Aero 98 has really grown on me. We obviously started off with the standard Aero, the 100, and I didn't like it, and I still don't particularly like it, but I love this 98. The more I've played with it, the more I've started to get on with it. You get loads of power, you get loads of spin, obviously as you'd expect, but you've got an extra cross in there to make it 16-20, which gives a load of control back, and that's actually true for all of the sort of Babolat tour level, the top end ones. They are more control frames than they are power, spin, and control, whatever the strike is, and control, which you'd expect from the strike. This is beautiful with restring 0 in. Again, restring 0 I probably wouldn't put in a lot of my rackets, certainly not the 2 that are coming up, but it works fantastically well in this racket. Again, loads of control, loads of power as you expect, loads of spin as you'd expect, and makes my number 3 because it is just that good. In at number 2, and I've been crying out for bagworms for ages, and they delivered in the Yonex Ezone 98. This is the newest Ezone, obviously, and the addition of Minilon has made a huge difference in the frame. For those of you that might have missed any of our reviews, Minilon is a fibre made by the bagworms, or the Minomushi. Yonex, I assume, has the largest bagworm farm in Japan, I would guess. But what that does is it gives a completely different sort of plush, comfortable feel, almost akin to something like a Clash, which is amazing in a racket that is much more aligned with sort of top level players. It is a hugely powerful racket with great feel and great stability. Jessica Pegula has triumphed with the new Ezone 98, and more importantly, Madison Key shifted to the Ezone and she won the Aussie Open. So don't just take it from me, take it from the pros. The Ezone 98 is absolutely fabulous. Number 2. In at number 1, let's have a drum roll. It is, of course, my racket, the racket that I will choose to play with for now and forevermore until someone makes a better one. It is, of course, the Yonex Ezone 98 Tour. So what you get with the Tour is a little bit more weight, giving it more stability, but it's also got all those delicious bagworms in it. Actually, not true. No bagworms in it, just fibres made by the bagworm. The 98 Tour just draws that power back slightly. You've got a slight shift in balance. You've got the extra weight. It just means it is super sturdy. So there is no racket better for defending, returning serve, on the back foot, having to really scurry around and fight. Nothing is going to do it better to me than the 98 Tour. You've got the extra mass, you've got the stability, and you've now got the extra feel you get from the Minilon. Truly superb, and until proven otherwise, the best racket in the world, and without doubt, my number 1. Here at P8 Tennis, we are lucky enough to try every single racket that comes to market. And every time we're trying, they shift around. Oh, this is great. Maybe I'm going to start playing more with this. I always come back to my Ezone 98 Tour. The string that you choose to pair with these rackets is going to be really important. Pair an Ezone with something too wild, you're probably not going to get the right stuff out of it. Pair a blade with something that's not quite right. Whatever it might be, the racket and string is a very harmonious, or needs to be, a very harmonious relationship. You can really alter the way a racket plays and the outcomes you're getting on the ball depending on that. So always consider that when you play. But as a starting point, choose any of these 5 rackets, or 8 if you count the honourable mentions, or 9 if you put in the Gravity Pro, which I thought I was going to do as well, but I thought that might be too much for you. Take one of these 5 rackets, find a string that you like, and your game will skyrocket. As always, don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe, so you never miss a thing from PH Yonex. Oh, from PH Tennis.